Hey guys, what's up? Underground Geek here. And you know, fewer things make me madder than when a comic book has something on the cover and that's not actually in the book. You know, I hate Marvel's variant covers where they put like Capcom characters or something stupid Venomized characters in there, which I like Venom, but you know, it makes me mad because they're not actually in the comic book. So if somebody sees this, buys it for $2.99 and then it doesn't have this in the book, that's called false advertising, okay? And nobody is immune to that. If you do something and you don't produce what you're showing, that's false advertisement, okay? So here's the deal. See this cover? Look at this. Let's check this out. See her cool outfit she's got? See his cool outfit he's got? Is that not cool? See all that? See Lex Luthor sitting there with his cool suit staying above everybody, and there's Grandma and Steppenwolf. Well, that's pretty awesome, isn't it? Well, I'm sorry, but none of that happens. Freaking piece of junk. So here we are. We're in Apokolips. We're at the gates of Darkseid's castle. And so there's a pretty cool character here. I can't remember his name, but he's blind, but he can still see through some kind of powers, and he's a fighter, which is really cool. But he says, she says, "What can you see, Prophet?" And he says, "Nothing and everything." And she says, "Blood stains your face. Someday it will be my own, Dora. But not until the one who has forsaken us sits again on Darkseid's throne." Ooh. Oh, look at that. It's a pretty cool little spread there. And then we get to see more fighting. It would have been better if it was just one whole page. But this is pretty cool because then it shows different fight scenes. It's making me dizzy. Woo. It says Imperius Lex Part 1, The Superman Who Would Be King. And this is written by Peter Tomasi and Patrick Gleason. And the pencilers Doug Monk and Jamie Mendoza is the inker, and Will Quinta is the colorist, and Rob Lay is the letterer. And they do a good job. Like, look at some of these creatures. Look at that. That's cool. Some kind of metal dog. Pretty awesome. And then we cut the next page, and these are crooks committing a robbery in Metropolis. And if you can't see, they all look like Justice League members. They're all wearing Justice League masks. So I thought that was pretty cool. So they're running away. We see them with their masks here. It says, "We need some speed. The cops are gaining." I think it's funny that they got Flash driving when he's a speedster. And then this is what I don't like. Okay, so we get this slot right here, and he says, guys, this isn't good. Do you see anything? You see anything happening? They're shooting. Okay, right there. That's Superman. You can just barely see it. Why did you put the word bubbles right over him? Why didn't you put him somewhere? Like, I can see his shadow, but if you're just looking, you're like, well, what's happening? And then there comes another one. It says, okay, it's worse now. And that was funny. But just move him a little bit this way and color him up just a little bit more. And then we get this cool shot here. It says, "We're in trouble." So he takes off his mask because he knows it ain't going to work at this point. I like his Batman shirt. That's pretty cool. But another thing that annoys me is how Superman and Lex Luthor are so chummy in this comic right here. It almost gets annoying because they're so nice to each other. And I'm like, oh my gosh. But he says, "Please be my guest, Superman. They're all yours." "Oh no, after you, Lex. I insist. After all, you did get here first." "Very well." So then they take the guys out very easily, throw a fire hydrant at them, melts their guns, and then zaps their brains so that they're like tased. He basically tases them. And he says, "Hey, super guys, thanks for the help." Yeah, woo, thanks for the help. Woo. And then we get another cool shot here. But I do like the body language here because if you'll look, Superman still seems uneasy standing next to Lex Luthor. He says, "No need to thank us, officer. We're all part of the same team." And so then basically fires off. Lex Luthor does the talking with the police. And then we cut to another scene here where he says, He says, what the crap? And there's a boom tube that shows up. And then something catches him. What's happening? And then we find out they have captured him and put like a helmet over his head, where he basically is like captured now. He says, a glorious age begins. Your throne awaits. And he says, we miss you, Lex Luthor, God of Apokolips. You have a destiny to fulfill. And then booms him out of there. Crazy, man. So then he comes in whistling, Superman does, and he's talking to his family. And John wants to go out with Damian and be Super Sons, and he says, no, tonight you're going to hang out with us. So, it's a good little dynamic, because as they're talking there, he says, like, well, can I go out tomorrow? And he goes, sure, just like a kid would do. So as they're talking, all of a sudden they get hit with a frequency that only Kryptonians can hear, and that's why they're sitting there holding their heads, and she's asking what's going on. Hey, Dark Philly, I found you a game. Munchkin Cthulhu. There's you a game to play. Munchkin Cthulhu. Oh, so basically they know it's Lex signaling them, because Lex signals them with that frequency all the time. And he says, this can wait until after I take my family out of the town, because, last time Lex contacted him, it was just to show him some kind of new thing that he had built, kind of showing off. But look how awkward Superman's face looks right there. Ew. Creeper. So he's walking through the park with his kid, even though they said they were going to watch a movie. I guess they did go see a movie. There's a popcorn. Never mind. And then a Lex bot shows up. Is that 4? I guess that's 3 of them. Maybe that's a 4th one in the back. I can't really tell. But basically, he shows up and says, there is no need to fear these Lex bots. They're purely transmit and contain. I have sent them because I am unable to speak. And then they see Lex Luthor there, and he says that he needs them to come with him. He says, you can only reply in a yes or no. He says, well, no. And then he says, you have responded in the negative, leaving me no choice. You like my robot voice? So then we see them go super, both of them. Pretty cool, huh? Zapping and a punching. That's a cool little scene there. I like John. I like John and Damian together better, but I like John. And so there they are, beating up all the Doombots. There's a nice little family punch there. I love how his suit is just a slightly different color than his dad's, so you can kind of tell them apart. And then they're all laying there, and she says, what was that all about? Guess Luthor's invitation earlier was more of a command performance. There comes a mother box. I don't really like the way they draw John in this comic. I like George Jimenez better on Super Sons. I don't know. It's just, once you've seen the other, you just prefer it over, once you've seen one that you like, you prefer it over other ones. Woo! Then the Dark Knight show up. Just kidding. That'd be cool, though. Doomsday Baby gets me every time. So then basically a big cage shows up like it did with Luthor, but it's a big one for all of them. And the mother bot basically teleports them away, and that rabbit's like, what the F? And then they show up at a different spot. He's saying, he says, transport's compromised, trying to hold it together, quantum stress fractures. Where's it taking us? The energy tendrils are tearing us apart. So basically it's pulling them. I thought it was like tearing them apart, but it's pulling them from each other. They probably should have described that a little bit better. But let's talk about this. I don't know anything about this, and I feel bad because this looks really good, but it's called Batman the Dark Prince Charming, and it's part 1 of a 2-volume graphic novel series available in November. Has anybody been looking for this? Because this looks kind of cool. I might check this out. That looks like the Ben Affleck Batman. Don't it? It looks just like him. And a different Joker. But that looks cool. I might try to find that. It's by Enrico Marini. I don't know who that is, but I'm still kind of young. But it looks pretty cool. I might have to try that out. See if I can find out how much it is. But anyway, so then they show up in Apokolips, and everybody's in a different spot. She's pretty close to Grandma there. And it's like, oh crap. And then he's, of course they're in worse positions than him. He's basically on the outskirts of the city. But he's like literally in between 2 soldiers. So what's going to happen now? And it says, next issue, The Lords of Apokolips. But here's the thing I don't like about this comic. First of all, I like how they did this advertisement and they jazzed up everybody's colors on their outfits to make them seem more like comic characters, because it was way too drowned out. But here's the thing I don't like about this comic. This doesn't happen in the comic. Everybody was playing this up really good. Imperius Lex, their advertisements were playing it up, and then you get here and it's basically just a epilogue to what's going on. Like, this is just to get you ready for the next issue. I hate issues like that, because basically, besides them fighting the robots, there really wasn't any fight. And there's been so much world building here lately on the comic book stories with Metal and Doomsday Clock and Dr. Oz or Mr. Oz and all that kind of stuff that I'm really getting tired of it. This was kind of cool, but then, you know, this was all we got of it. 2 pages. And then it's over. And I understand that they're trying to tell a lot, but, you know, just tell one thing really good. Don't tell 100 things half good. Tell one thing really good. And, but anyway, it's still a cool cover. I just wish that this had kind of happened at the end of the comic. Like maybe they had showed up in front of Lex Luthor and he was standing there just like this, you know, with Steppenwolf and the others. That would have been pretty cool. But I guess, you know, you win some, you lose some. They can't all be perfect. They're doing a lot better than Marvel is anyway. But anyway, guys, tell me what you think of this. Tell me if you've already read it, or tell me if you've totally forgot about this, or if you haven't got to this issue yet, we'll talk about it. Don't look at that. That's trash. But Underground Geek out. Hit the like button. Hit the notifications button so you don't miss any of my videos. And have a great day. Bye, guys.